Hello and welcome to the next video of my MSI 2024 preview series where we're going to cover Top Esports, the 2 seed from the LPL. This is the first time that this organization has went to the mid-season invitational. Mid-season cup or whatever the hell that was during COVID doesn't count to me. The only year that the LPL sent a 2 seed, they finished second place last year, that was BLG. Technically, the LPL, the last 3 tournaments, could not have finished any better in each one. This is a tournament tends to be dominated by the LPL in China. Worlds, more so Korea in terms of winning or losing. Average age of this roster is 22.6 years old. There are 3 former world champions. There are 2 former MSI champions. This roster is very, very talented. Full disclosure, my way too early Worlds predictions back in January before the season even started, I did pick this team to win the entire thing. Keep in mind, of course, that is way too early world predictions for a reason, right? It's kind of a joke in and of itself, but I do want to just clarify that I do have high expectations for these players. So, average age is 22.6 years old. In top lane, you have 369. In my opinion, the best all-around top laner in the world. This year, compared to last year, you actually see how good 369 is. Last year, he was a facilitator. He fell on the sword for JDG. He was the one that would play Ornn. He was the one to give up resources. Now, on Top Esports, he has an 8.7 KDA. 8.7 KDA, geez. 4 KDA, but an 8.7 CS per minute. That's 0.8 CS more than it was last year at the end of the season. 54.4 KP. 1.47 return on investment. He is a carry-oriented top on this team. 21.5 gold share. That, I think, is 2-3% higher than it was last year on JDG. That's a big difference. There's a significant amount of gold in a game. I mean, hell, if a team has 90,000 gold or well, let's just say even 50,000, it'd be a big difference, right? 3% of that, that's 1,500, right? Maybe we'll finish an item doing that. 23.7 damage share. He is dealing a decent amount of damage in the top lane. Now, something to kind of go over here, because it's the LPL, we don't get the fun stats. So I don't have 15-minute splits, I don't have solo kills, and I don't have vision numbers, which is unfortunate. I believe those are, especially the 15-minute splits, those are a telltale sign of who's actually better in lane. I had somebody yesterday in the T1 video say that Faker was gapping people in lane and this or that, and I'm like, well, do the stats say it that he is, or is he just going around making things happen because Faker is a facilitator at best? In terms of Zeus is, in my opinion, that team runs best with Zeus carrying, Faker making things happen as a facilitator. And you could argue, okay, well, he's making things happen, the other player isn't, so therefore Faker is better, but the other player could be getting gold, and if they're heading gold, maybe it washes out. So just something to think about, why those stats are important, not making this a T1 video. 15 champions played in 61 games. Aatrox, Renekton, and Rumble. You may say to yourself, Rumble? Oh, geez, so many people last Worlds wrote off 369 because he played first-time Rumble at Worlds and lost. And it wasn't the greatest Rumble performance of all time. And he was condemned, and, you could see that, the real cave dwellers of the community got real quiet this split when it comes to 369 and Rumble, because he's 5-0 on the champion. So it's a real interesting conundrum. Internationally, he's 39-18 in his career. 2.2 KDA, 8 CS per minute, 56.6 KP. I think that actually describes his career pretty well prior to this year as a facilitator. Not high farm, slightly higher KP, 1.26 return on investment, which is actually pretty good for a facilitator. On average at 15 minutes against international tops, he's ahead 140 gold, 3 CS, 90 XP, 18 solo kills in 57 games, and 1 MSI last year with JDG. In the jungle, you have TenZ. A lot of people believe that TenZ is the player that they are most worried about going into this event. Personally, I don't think that's my most concerning or questionable aspect of this team, and we'll get to it. Now, TN is a bit of a coin flipper. This past split, strong numbers. 5 KDA, 6.3 CS per minute, 68 KP. That would indicate a player that goes and gets resources and forgoes involving themselves. We saw some teams throughout this preview series with multiple players with 70 KP or more, tending to fight around each other. This team is not quite at that tier. 0.92 return on investment, so slightly less damage. He's trying to get gold to be more of a tanky player. The issue I have with that is he's taking a lot of resources that you could otherwise maybe give to Cream or the bot lane, and they could deal more damage, right? Because he's not dealing a ton of damage, and he's got high CS. So that may be one of the highest CSs at this tournament. 18.8 gold share and a 12.9 damage share. That might be one of the bigger diffies at this tournament in terms of the return on investment in share, how much a team is investing in a player in gold relative to the damage that's being put out by the player. 11 champions playing 61 games. Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, and Rel, his 3 most played. Internationally, he's 19 and 12, has never played at MSI, but did win Worlds with FPX. 2.6 KDA, a 5.3 CS per minute, and 68.2 KP, and that's more what I'm used to with Tian. More of a facilitator. I remember comparing Tian and Kanavi a couple years ago, and the fact of the matter was they're 2 very different junglers, and that is what I'm used to when I think of Tian, is the 5.3. I mean, 1 CS per minute less, 10 CS, 40 CS over a game. 0.89 return on investment, same type of player. 68 KP, similar player. Internationally against junglers, 130 gold, 4 CS, 135 XP, 8 solo kills in 31 games. In the mid lane, we have Cream, and this is the question mark. And it's not a disservice to him to call him a question mark. I believe that this is going to be massive for him and for the team if they have any hopes of actually winning Worlds. This is his first international appearance. This is his first moment on the biggest stage. And I feel like some people are not going to give him the grace that he deserves. And with that, you're going to find the people that are, in my opinion, the worst of complete LOL Esports fandom, in my opinion. He had a 4.5 KDA, 8.8 CS per minute, 63 KP. Not very involved. Less than 2 out of every 3 kills. We see some mid laners with above 70 KP and 8.8 CS per minute. So he's not farming a ton. He's farming more than your average mid, and he's doing well. But at the same time, personally, I think TN should be giving some of this farm away. Even if he's giving half a CS, we have 9.3 for Cream. That seems a hell of a lot better. People might say, CS doesn't matter, this and that. It's like, yeah, well, he's not involved with KP. So what is he doing? Creating pressure. Creating pressure, my ass. 1.68 return on investment, best on the team in that regard. Does find a way to deal significant damage relative to the gold. 22.1 gold share in a team leading 27.7 damage share. He is the 1A carry on this team, not Jackie Love. 11 champions playing 61 games. Azir, Ari, Akali are his 3 most played. Like I said, no international experience, only 20 years old. In the 80 carry role, you have Jackie Love in the conversation at times for best bot laner in all of LOL Esports. He's an excellent player. 4.4 KDA. If this is the first time you're watching previews, and if it isn't, you're going to hear this spiel again. I have separated stats because there's so many Senna games. Out of the 61 games for Jackie Love, 10 of them were on Senna, so these numbers were pretty scuffed. So I combine some of the stats for the bot laners to not make them seem as bad. We're comparing how the bot lane does in a Senna situation as well as everything else in a big group. But KDA, a 4.4, 71.6 KP, and you're going to find the bot lane the most involved aspect of this team when it comes to kills, 2v2 kills, things of that nature. 1.56 return on investment, 11 champions in 61 games. Lucian Kalista Varas, his 3 most played. Internationally, he's 44 and 23. Has a 3.2 KDA, 9.6 CS per minute, about 65 KP. 1.27 return on investment at 15 minutes. Does get ahead of his lane opponents. 240 gold, 7 CS, 10 XP. 11 solo kills. Has only been to MSI 1 time in 2019, finishing 3rd, 4th. Did win Worlds. He is a world champion. Can't take that away from him. Oldest player, Mako. Mako is one of the best supports in the world. He, in my opinion, is the second most accomplished Chinese player of all time. Xiaohu has 3 MSIs, and Mako has 1 MSI and a Worlds. Xiaohu also has 1 in top lane, which is impressive in and of itself. So something to just think about, because before people say, well, Uzi, yeah, that's also a thing. We're all, I made a video about it at Worlds last year. There's an argument to be made, I think, for any of the 3. Alongside Jackie, they are one of the best bot duos in the world. An excellent duo. 4.9 KDA, 76 KP, 0.84 return on investment, 17 champions in 61 games. Nautilus, Nami, Tom Kench's 3 most played. When you combine a couple stats, 10.2 CS per minute, so positive, more than 10. 37.6 gold share, but 35.7 damage share. Like I said, Cream is the carry of this team. Jackie Love is the 1B carry, in part due to all those Senna games and Kalista games. I don't know what their deal is when it comes to so much Kalista. Personally, I feel like it takes a lot of the power out of Jackie Love's hands. Not something I really like. When I look at this team, TenZ should be the one on facilitators. You should not be making Jackie Love, Mako, that duo play any sort of utility whatsoever. It's not right. Mako, 51 and 37 in his career internationally. 2.5 KDA, 73.2 KP. Vision score 2.61 per minute. Place about 7 to 8 wards every 5 minutes. 2 control wards every 5 minutes. Clears 1 ward every 5 minutes. Did win MSI 2015. He is an excellent player. I can't really, beat around the bush more than that. Another question mark, though, for this team is the coaching staff. So, Despair has as many Worlds and MSI appearances as a head coach as any of us do that are watching. So that is a thing, right? This tournament is not a failure if Top Esports loses. It's a failure if they don't learn from it. If they do, learn from it in general and utilize it for Worlds. Cream needs to come away with from this with experience, playing against players like Chovy and Faker. And then the coach has to come away with something too, right? This is not only is this what happens on the Rift, but management around the team off the Rift, how they handle the pressure, because the MSI is in China, right? And this team has champions on it, where BLG does not, right? BLG has no world champions on it. So the expectations for BLG are hands, of course, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, but there are no world champions on that team. There are 2 MSI champions. This team has just the same amount of MSI champions, right? So, yeah, I like this roster, but at this event, I'm going to kind of give them a pass. If Cream ints his face off, that's fine. If Despair makes some draft blunders, that's fine. It's about growth for this team at this tournament. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.